After a hot and dusty national championships in Adelaide, just 1 week later the nation's best riders battled thick mud and distinctly cool conditions at Awaba mountain bike park near Newcastle. The cross-country riders in the Real Insurance All-Mountain Cup were first to take on the mud in a short but testing time trial. Jacqueline Chappell and Josh Carlson proved best able to handle the atrocious conditions. The Olympic format event was missing some of the big names from the Nationals, giving an opportunity for others to gather valuable points towards the series result. All-Mountain Cup leader Andy Blair was determined to keep the #1 plate.
Yeah, I just have to do everything right and make sure I stay upright and get my bike to the finish line tomorrow.
The women's race was dominated by Sydney's Lindsay Gorell, a rider who's come back to the sport after years of university study. Canberra's Rosemary Barnes was chasing back Gorell until the mud ground away her brake pads and she was forced to pull into the tech zone. South Australia's Jacqueline Chappell continued to give chase, but Gorell revelled in the testing conditions. After 4 laps on a tough and deteriorating course, Gorell took a breakthrough win in the All-Mountain Cup, followed by Chappell and Barnes.
I think that we were really lucky that we actually had first go on the track. Like from first lap to 4th lap, the track was chopping up seriously. You just ended up 2 inches of mud. There was no line. You had to choose your line every lap.
Amy Austin topped the podium in the under-23s, while local rider and under-19 national champion Holly Harris was untouchable in the junior category. With the battle for the series still very tight in the men's category, the men's race was set to be a thriller. Leading the field after the first lap was under-23 category rider Trenton Day. The Novocastrian showing local knowledge was a distinct benefit on the serpentine single tracks of Awaba. Leading the elite category, Tasmania's Sid Tabalay. After suffering badly in the scorching conditions of Adelaide, the cool weather was more to his liking as he let out Josh Carlson and Andy Blair, who only needed to finish better than 4th overall to win the series. With not only bodies but bikes suffering in the 5-lap mudfest, it was good management as much as good legs that would secure the win. Showing ample amounts of both, former Olympian Sid Tabalay crossed the line first, Carlson and Blair finishing within 3 minutes of the leader.
Last week down in Adelaide, I was sort of trying to not get heat stroke, and yesterday I was hanging around in the rain and thinking maybe I could get hypothermia, you know, so my body's sort of been through a lot in the last week, I suppose.
Coming back down, your brakes were pretty much gone from the 2nd lap, and that was it. It's just hold on and hope for the best.
Yeah, it was just a matter of just trying to, I guess, keep the bike in one piece, save the brake pads and get through the whole 5 laps.
In the under-23s, Trenton Day took a convincing win, while Chris Aitken dominated the juniors. The weekend for the cross-country riders was rounded out by a challenging point-to-point race, which featured plenty of slippery clay fire roads and steep climbs. Recording another win for the weekend, Lindsay Gorell secured the overall elite women's title for round 4.
I actually had the entire week off the bike this week. Maybe that was a good thing. Yeah, it would have been interesting to see if there had have been a bit more depth in the field.
Proving what great form he carried out of the national championships, Trenton Day again upset the elite field, crossing the line first, while the elite podium was almost a repeat of the previous race. Tabalay taking the win ahead of Carlson, but Andrew Arthur scoring a breakthrough podium spot. However, the big winner finished 4th. Andy Blair very happy to achieve his goal of winning the series.
Oh yeah, I'm real happy to wrap up the series. I had a little bit of pressure on me here. I felt pretty tired from last weekend at Nationals, and yeah, you know, it was just a matter of doing what I could. I would have loved to have won the final round and finished the season really decisively, but at the end of the day I did what I had to do, and I'm happy to win the series.
The Real Insurance Gravity Cup has been all about just 2 riders. Specialised Monster Energy teammates Sam Hill and Troy Brosnan have been duking it out over 3 rounds, with Brosnan taking the hat-trick. The newly crowned national champion showed us what a steep and difficult course Awaba can be in the wet.
That was so wild! Whoa.
Brosnan's seeding run proved his 3 wins and the national champions title have been no fluke. He seeded first, but only half a second ahead of Hill. In the finals, a smaller than normal field took to the World Cup length course. The women's race saw youth pitted against experience as Danielle Beecroft seeded fastest, ahead of former junior cross-country world champion Lisa Matheson. But with the pressure of the finals, B-Clock crashed early, and with Matheson rapidly improving on the downhill bike, she was on track to record her first Gravity Cup victory.
A super steep learning curve jumping in this downhilling thing, but I'm having so much fun with it, and hopefully there'll be plenty more from here.
The under-19 men's class has been a tight battle all season between Jack Moyer, Tom Crimmins and two-time under-19 national champion Connor Fearon. South Australian Fearon rode a conservative run in the seedings to place fourth, while Jack Moyer had the course dialed, coming in some 7 seconds ahead. With much drier conditions in the final, Moyer recorded a time some 12 seconds quicker than the seeding run, but it wasn't enough to hold back Fearon, who improved on his time by almost 20 seconds, a 4-minute 6.94 second run. True to his name, the heavy conditions were clearly to the liking of Graham Mudd. Bolstered by his recent National Championships 4-cross victory, Mudd was the only rider to get near the times of the Brosnan Hill duo. But in his final run, Mudd slipped to 4th place, while West Australian Mitch Delfts improved his time by 22 seconds to take the hot seat. In a scene oft repeated during the season, Sam Hill was first to attack the course. The rider who has defined downhill in Australia for a decade smashed the 4-minute barrier with a 3 minutes 57.32 second run. Wearing the green and gold stripes of a newly minted champion, Troy Brosnan was the final rider on course. A model of speed and precision, he looked fast and smooth, but the clock would say otherwise, and after many months in the shadow of his young protege, Hill finally took his place on the top step of the podium.
Just had a good run. It's been good battling with him all season, and it's probably pushed us both along, give us motivation to step up our game for the international season coming up.
With 3 wins across the season, Brosnan took out the inaugural Gravity Cup ahead of 5-time world champion Hill.
If someone's beaten me, I hope it's Sam. So we'll just go into the World Cups and I'll just be that more hungry.
The dynamic duo shift focus now to a World Cup campaign that will take them across the globe. Jim Trail for Cycling Central.